Microsoft Sentinel is a cloud-native SIEM and SOAR solution. First, let's talk about what SIEM and SOAR mean. SIEM stands for Security Information and Event Management. SOAR stands for Security Orchestration, Automation, and Response. These are two popular technologies used in modern security operations. Here's the general workflow of SIEM. First, it connects with all kinds of data sources, such as identity and access management systems, endpoint devices, applications, and security controls. Then SIEM collects logs and metrics from these data sources. Next, the aggregated data is processed through data analytics. If any cyber threats are detected, alerts are raised and sent to the incident management process. SOAR focuses on incident response process. It empowers you to achieve your security objectives through orchestration, which integrates various solutions and tools to perform security tasks. Automation, which replaces repetitive and time-consuming manual tasks with automated workflows. And a response, which streamlines the incident response process, including triage, investigation, and remediation. In summary, SIEM helps us collect data. Analyze security, including triage, investigation, and remediation. In summary, SIEM helps us collect data and respond process, including triage, investigation, and remediation. In summary, SIEM helps us collect data, analyze security information and events, detect threats, and generate incidents. SOAR helps us respond to incidents and automate workflows. As you can see, SOAR naturally extends the capabilities of SIEM. Microsoft Sentinel is a cloud-native solution that provides both SIEM and SOAR functions. It supports the entire security operations lifecycle, including collecting security data across your enterprise environments, detecting cyber threats, investigating security incidents, and responding to incidents rapidly with orchestration and automation of security tasks. Let's take a quick tour of Microsoft Sentinel. On the overview page, we can see the dashboard for incidents information, data collection information, and analytics roles. Under Threat Management, you can manage incidents, create workbooks, hunt threats, analyze threat intelligence, and leverage the MITRE ATT&CK framework. Under Content Management, you can explore the Content Hub. You can find pre-configured solutions, connectors, workbooks, analytic roles, playbooks, and hunting queries. Under Configuration, you can manage data connectors, create analytics roles, and set up automation roles and playbooks. Microsoft Sentinel is a powerful security information and event management SIEM and security orchestration, automation, and response SOAR solution. It enables end-to-end security operations for threat detection and incident response. Let's look at some key capabilities that Microsoft Sentinel provides at each stage of the process. For data collection, you can use data connectors to gather data from many Microsoft services and third-party solutions. For threat detection, you can use analytics to identify threats and group alerts into incidents. Leverage threat intelligence sources to detect malicious activities. Apply the MITRE ATT&CK framework to analyze threats. MITRE ATT&CK is a well-known knowledge base of adversary tactics and techniques. Use your watch lists, such as high-value assets, service accounts, and VIP users in your search. And use workbooks to create interactive visual reports. For threat investigation, you can view full details of incidents and investigate attack vectors. Perform threat hunting to proactively discover possible attacks. Use Jupyter notebooks in threat hunting and investigation. Jupyter notebooks are documents containing live code, visualization, and narrative text. For incident response, you can create automation rules to streamline incident handling. And use playbooks to orchestrate the process and tools and automate remediation actions. Let's do a quick demo of tools and automate remediation actions. Let's do a quick demo of the incident detection and response capabilities in Microsoft Sentinel. For data connection, you can use data connectors. You can import data from numerous sources like Azure, Microsoft 365, Microsoft Defender, Microsoft Entra ID, and third-party solutions. For threat detection, you can enable analytics rules to generate alerts and incidents. Create hunting queries to identify undetected threats and malicious behaviors. For threat investigation, you can get a list of incidents, view full details of an incident, investigate the sequence of events and associated entities. You can adjust the incident severity, update status, and assign owner. For incident response, you can create automation rules for incident handling. And use playbooks to automate mitigation processes and actions. Microsoft Defender XDR is a unified threat protection solution. You may ask, what is XDR? XDR stands for Extended Detection and Response. It's a type of security solutions that collects data from various sources like endpoint devices, emails, and cloud applications within your organization's environment, analyzes and detects threats, and enables rapid response to those threats. Microsoft Defender XDR is a suite of products that includes Microsoft Defender for Identity, which detects and investigates threats using Active Directory signals. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, which offers protection, detection, and incident response for endpoint devices. Microsoft Defender Vulnerability Management, which provides asset visibility, risk assessments, and remediation for vulnerabilities and misconfigurations. Microsoft Defender for Office 365, which protects against threats from emails, links, and collaboration tools. And Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps, which secures software as a service SaaS applications with visibility, data controls, and threat protection. You can access Microsoft Defender XDR through its unified portal. In addition, Microsoft Defender XDR is integrated with Microsoft Security Copilot, an AI-powered security analysis solution. With Security Copilot, you can use prompts to perform common tasks, such as summarizing an incident or generating a guided response. Now let's take a quick tour of Microsoft Defender XDR. Here's a Microsoft Defender portal. On the home page, you can see a dashboard with various widgets, such as device compliance, Microsoft Secure Score, and active incidents. Under Investigation and Response, you can manage incidents, review alerts, and perform advanced hunting. Under Threat Intelligence, you can find recent threat analytics reports. Through the Microsoft Defender Unified Portal, you can access various Microsoft security products, including Microsoft Defender for Identity, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, Microsoft Defender Vulnerability Management, Microsoft Defender for Office 365, and Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps. You can also access Microsoft Sentinel capabilities from this portal, which brings you a unified security operations platform between XDR and SIEM solutions. Let's look at the threat investigation and response capabilities in Microsoft Defender. Here's the Microsoft Defender portal. Under Investigation and Response, click Incidents. You will see a list of detected incidents. Let's select an incident. Copilot in Defender, the AI-powered security analysis tool, summarizes the incident and generates a guided response. The incident graph shows the entities involved in this incident, such as devices, accounts, IP addresses, files, and processes. You can also find incident details, impacted assets, and active alerts. To further investigate this incident, you can play a text story to see a visual timeline of how attack happened. You can analyze associated alerts, review collected evidence, and get an incident summary. After the investigation, you can click Manage Incident. You can update the incident's severity, add tags, update assigned owner, update status, and update classification. To respond to the incident, you can run playbooks to automate mitigation tasks. Let's look at the threat intelligence capabilities in Microsoft Defender. What is threat intelligence? It's about collecting and analyzing data to understand current or potential threats. It helps us investigate the profiles of threat actors who conduct cyber attacks, identify their attack tactics, which are their goals or strategies such as initial access, privilege escalation, or lateral movement. Techniques, their methods to execute the tactics, such as phishing, process injection, or remote services. And procedures, the step-by-step actions to apply the techniques. From an organization's point of view, we can use threat intelligence to identify threats that pose the highest impact on us and discover vulnerable assets that may be exposed to these threats. Microsoft Defender Threat Intelligence enables you to access latest threat information and correlate it you to access may be exposed to these threats. Microsoft Defender Threat Intelligence enables you to access latest threat information and correlate it with your organization's environment. On the Microsoft Defender portal, you can access threat analytics reports, find intel profiles of threat actors, tools, and vulnerabilities, use Intel Explorer to search threat information, then create your Intel projects to investigate indicators of compromise, or IOC, for specific artifacts such as domains, URLs, and IP addresses. Now let's do a quick demo of Microsoft Defender Threat Intelligence. Here's the Microsoft Defender portal. Under Threat Intelligence, click Threat Analytics. You will see a list of reports. You can also use Copilot in Defender to summarize or prioritize the threats. Threat Analytics also categorizes threats into latest threats, that are most recent threat reports, high-impact threats that relate to organizations' active or closed alerts, and highest exposure threats that target the vulnerabilities in the organization's assets, such as desktops or applications. Select Intel Profiles. You can access Microsoft's shareable knowledge on threat actors, malicious tools, and vulnerabilities. Click Intel Explorer. You can search for threat information. For example, search a CVE number, CVE-2024-5274. CVE stands for Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures. It will find the related information for you. Click Intel Projects. You can create your project to investigate selected artifacts. Let's look at the threat intelligence capability. Let's look at Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. What is an endpoint? It can be any device that communicates with a computer network, such as a laptop, desktop, server, virtual machine, phone, tablet, or Internet of Things IoT device like a security camera and a smart speaker. It's critical for organizations to secure their endpoints because hackers can use a compromised device to penetrate the network and launch further attacks. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint is a comprehensive solution that helps organizations protect their endpoints. It offers various capabilities including Core Defender Vulnerability Management, which uses a risk-driven approach to manage endpoint vulnerabilities and misconfigurations. Attack Surface Reduction, which verifies configuration settings and applies security controls like network protection and web protection. Next-generation protection, which enhances antivirus functions by using techniques like behavior analysis, cloud-delivered protection, and near-instant detection. Endpoint detection and response, which helps security analysts better analyze and mitigate threats. Automated Investigation and Remediation, or AIR, which automatically investigates alerts and performs remediation actions. Microsoft Secure Score for Devices, which helps you assess the current state, identify gaps, and take recommended actions. Microsoft Threat Experts, which offers a managed threat hunting service, and Management and APIs, which provides various APIs to share data and actions. You can access Microsoft Defender for Endpoint through the unified Microsoft Defender portal. Now let's do a quick demo. Here's a Microsoft Defender portal. Under Endpoints, expand Vulnerability Management. You can manage device vulnerabilities by accessing functions like Dashboard, Recommendations, Remediation, and more. Expand partners and APIs. You can use API Explorer to test Microsoft Defender for Endpoint capabilities. Expand configuration management. You can access the dashboard and manage endpoint security policies. Let's look at Microsoft Defender Vulnerability Management. What is a vulnerability? You can think of vulnerabilities as weaknesses within your assets, including devices, networks, applications, and data. Threat actors can use various tactics and techniques to exploit these exposed vulnerabilities. So it's critical for organizations to reduce cyber risk by properly managing their vulnerabilities. You often hear the term CVE in vulnerability management. CVE stands for Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures. It's an industry-standardized system for tracking publicly known cybersecurity vulnerabilities. Each CVE has a unique number. For example, CVE-2024-5274. Microsoft Defender Vulnerability Management enables organizations to reduce cyber risk through 3 key capabilities. Continuous asset discovery and monitoring. It provides inventories of software, hardware, firmware, browser extensions, and digital certificates, so you can have a real-time view of your organization's assets. Risk-based intelligent prioritization. It leverages Microsoft's threat intelligence, risk predictions, and device assessments to prioritize your organization's vulnerabilities, so you can focus on the most critical tasks. Remediation and tracking. You can use building workflows to perform remediation tasks, such as updating an operating system based on a recommendation, or blocking vulnerable applications. And you can track the status and progress of the remediation activities in real time. Now let's do a quick demo of Microsoft Defender Vulnerability Management. Here's the Microsoft Defender portal. Under Vulnerability Management, you can use the dashboard to get an overview of exposure score, which reflects the device exposures in your organization. Top security recommendations. Microsoft Secure Score for your devices across application, operating system, network, accounts, and security controls. And top events. Click Recommendations. You can find a list of security recommendations. Let's select a recommendation. You can view the details and create a task to request a remediation. Click Remediation. Here you can track all remediation activities and view the status of an activity. Click Inventories. You can get a real-time view of software, vulnerable components, browser extensions, certificates, hardware and firmware. Click Weaknesses. You can discover vulnerabilities in your organization and view the details of a CVE. Click Baselines Assessment. You can assess device compliance against selected industry security benchmarks. Office 365 is a popular suite of productivity and collaboration tools, which includes applications like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Teams. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 integrates with Office 365 subscriptions and helps organizations protect against cyber threats. There are some common attack techniques targeting Office 365, such as phishing. Hackers send crafted emails to trick users into disclosing confidential information or taking unintended actions. Malware distributed through email attachments or file downloads. URL clicks. Links in emails or messages lead to malicious websites, causing users to reveal credentials or install malware. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 protects organizations from cyber attacks with 3 key capabilities. Prevent and detect email and collaboration-based threats, using features such as anti-malware policies, filtering for spam and connections, safe attachments, alerts, attack simulation training, and integration with Security Information and Event Management or SIEM solution. Investigate threats with features such as threat exposure, review, campaigns, threat tracker, and exchange message trace. Respond to threats with features such as zero-hour auto-purge or ZAP for malicious emails, automated investigation and response or AIR, and automated responses in integrated security solutions like SIEM. Now let's do a quick demo of Microsoft Defender for Office 365. Here's a Microsoft Defender portal. Under Email and Collaboration, you can use Exposure to investigate and respond to threats. It provides a unified overview of all email, malware, phishing, campaigns, content malware, and URL clicks. Click Review. You can access Action Center, manage quarantined messages, and handle restricted entities. Click Campaigns. You can analyze coordinated attacks or campaigns. Click Exchange Message Trace. You can trace messages in Exchange Admin Center. Click Attack Simulation Training. You can build various attack simulations for security awareness training in your organization. Policies and rules. You can set up policies for threats and alerts. Microsoft Defender for Identity is a cloud-based security solution that helps organizations protect identities across their environments. Many companies operate in hybrid environments, combining on-premises and cloud systems. How does Microsoft Defender for Identity collect user signals from your on-premises infrastructure? Here's a diagram from Microsoft that describes the high-level workflow. First, you need to install software-based sensors on your on-premises identity servers, such as domain controllers or servers running Active Directory federated services. Then these sensors collect signals and send parsed data to Microsoft Defender for Identity to perform identity threat detection and response. Finally, security analysts can use Microsoft Defender portal to access the configurations, signals, and insights generated by Microsoft Defender for Identity. Microsoft Defender for Identity helps organizations proactively assess identity risk. Microsoft Defender for Identity helps can use Microsoft Defender signals and insights generated by Microsoft Defender for Identity. Microsoft Defender for Identity helps organizations proactively assess identity risk by providing a clear view of identity security posture, flagging risky accounts, and integrating with Microsoft Secure Score. Detect threats by monitoring user behavior, detecting suspicious activities, and identify advanced threats throughout each stage of the attack process. Investigate alerts and user activities using a simple real-time attack timeline. And remediate attacks by taking actions, such as disabling compromised users in the on-premises network, or resetting user passwords. Now let's do a quick demo of Microsoft Defender for Identity. Here's a Microsoft Defender portal. Under Identities, you can access ITDR Dashboard. ITDR stands for Identity Threat Detection and Response. This dynamic dashboard provides a centralized view of critical insights and real-time data, such as the current cloud users, on-premises users, and hybrid users. Identity Secure Score. Privileged identities. And risky users. Click Health Issues. You can check the health status of your Defender for Identity instance and sensors. Click Tools. You can find resources to help manage your Microsoft Defender for Identity environment, including documentation, sizing tool, readiness script, and a PowerShell module for configuring and validating your environment. Software as Service (SaaS) applications are widely used today. However, they create significant challenges for corporations in securing various SaaS apps and their data. Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps enables organizations to deploy comprehensive protection for their SaaS applications. For example, it delivers the key capabilities of a CASB solution. CASB stands for Cloud Access Security Broker. It acts as a gatekeeper for managed access to cloud resources, defend against threats, discover SaaS app usage, protect data, and ensure compliance. In addition, Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps offers SaaS Security Posture Management (SSPM) by identifying misconfigurations and recommending improvement actions based on industry standards and best practices, and integrating with Microsoft Secure Score. Advanced threat protection by providing built-in adaptive access control, performing user and entity behavior analysis, and integrating with Microsoft Defender XDR. And app-to-app protection by governing data exchange among applications and securing OAuth applications. OAuth is an open standard for authorization. It allows third-party services to access user data without sharing user credentials. Now let's do a quick demo of Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps. Here's a Microsoft Defender portal. Under Cloud Apps, click Cloud Discovery. You can get a report on cloud app usage and get information about newly discovered apps. Click Cloud App Catalog. You can search for known cloud apps. You can view an app's risk score, profile, reference information on security, compliance, and legal information. Click OAuth Apps. You can view and manage OAuth apps. Click Activity Log. You can query and view app activities. Click Governance Log. You can review governance actions carried out on apps. Under Policies, you can manage policies for cloud apps and find policy templates for creating your policies. Network is the foundation of today's connected world. Before migrating your workloads from an on-premises environment to the cloud, it's critical to properly design your cloud network. Azure Virtual Network, or VNet, enables organizations to build and manage their private network environment in the Microsoft Azure cloud. It offers additional benefits such as scalability and availability. Network segmentation is a key concept in network security design. Basically, it means dividing a single large network into smaller parts. Why is this important? From a security standpoint, it helps minimize the impact of a breach. For example, if you have separate networks used by marketing, finance, and IT, attackers who penetrate one network may not be able to reach the others. We have talked about a zero-trust security model before. One of its guiding principles is to assume breach. Network segmentation is an important component that supports zero trust. In addition, network segmentation allows organizations to tailor access controls for individual network zones based on their security, governance, and compliance requirements. For example, a typical 3-tier web application has a presentation tier, application tier, and a database tier. Instead of running all resources in one network, you can place them in 3 different subnets, each with different access policies and controls. Azure Virtual Network helps you implement network segmentation easily. You can create multiple virtual networks across different Azure regions. You can control the network communication among these virtual networks. Within a virtual network, you can create multiple subnets to further segment the network. Then you can deploy various resources in these subnets based on your system and security requirements. Now let's take a quick tour of Azure Virtual Networks. Here's the Virtual Networks page in the Azure portal. You can see multiple virtual networks for different business purposes. Click a virtual network. On the Overview page, you can find its IP address space. Click Topology. It shows a network diagram. We can see this virtual network contains 4 subnets. Click Subnets. It shows a list of subnets with their IP ranges. Click a subnet. You can view its details. A network security group is an Azure service that filters network layer traffic within your virtual networks. After creating a network security group, or NSG, you can associate it with multiple subnets or network interfaces. So the same network security roles are applied to each of them. To create an NSG, you need to define security roles for both inbound and outbound network traffic. Here's an example of some default security roles used in NSGs. Each role contains several properties, including priority presented by a number. The lower the number, the higher the priority, meaning this rule will be accessed earlier. Once a rule matches the traffic, the process stops, and the remaining low-priority roles are skipped. Rule name, it should be unique and reflect its purpose. Port, it can be a single port number like 80 or a range of ports. Network protocol, such as TCP, UDP, or any. Network traffic source and destination. This can be an IP address, a range of IP addresses, a service tag, or application security groups. And finally, action. Do you want to allow or deny the traffic if the rule is applied? We can see the rule, allow VNet inbound allows all inbound traffic with any ports and any protocols within the virtual network. However, there's another rule, deny all inbound, that denies all inbound traffic. So which rule will be applied? We need to check their priority numbers. Since the allow VNet inbound rule has a lower number, it will be applied. The same logic also applies to outbound security rules. Now let's take a quick tour of Azure Network Security Groups. Here's a Network Security Groups page in the Azure portal. Select a Network Security Group. Under Settings, you can configure its inbound security rules and outbound security rules. Click Add. You can add a new security rule. Click Network Interfaces. We can associate this NSG with network interfaces. Click Subnets. We can also associate it with multiple subnets. Azure Firewall is a managed cloud-based network security service provided by Microsoft Azure. Firewalls are classic security controls. They are widely used to separate external networks from internal networks in on-premises environments. Firewalls monitor and filter inbound and outbound network traffic based on predefined security policies or rules. However, as organizations migrate their workloads to the cloud, traditional firewalls face challenges in meeting the demands of hybrid environments spanning both on-premises and cloud infrastructure. This is where Azure Firewall comes into play. You have workloads running in Azure virtual networks. They need to communicate with resources on the internet and within your on-premises environment. Azure Firewall acts as a centralized network security control to filter the traffic among all entities. It also provides additional capabilities such as monitoring both network and application level traffic, including protocols like HTTPS, building high availability to ensure continuous operations, tracking states of active connections to make decisions based on traffic context, supporting source and destination network address translation, or NAT, to manage and secure traffic between the Internet and your private resources, and integration with many other Azure services like Azure Virtual Networks, Azure Policy, and Azure Monitor. Moreover, Azure Firewall is integrated with Microsoft Security Copilot, an AI-powered assistant for security analysts. By enabling the Azure Firewall plugin, you can use prompts to access its capabilities in Microsoft Security Copilot, such as searching across firewalls for intrusion detection and prevention signatures, or asking Copilot to generate recommendations to secure your environment using Azure Firewall. When speaking of network security services in Azure, you may wonder, what's the difference between an Azure Firewall and Azure Network Security Group, or NSG? It seems both of them can filter network traffic. The key differences are Azure Firewall is a centralized service to provide protection across various subscriptions and virtual networks, Network security groups work within virtual networks in each subscription. Azure Firewall can work with both network and application-level traffic. Network security groups filter network layer traffic. You can combine Azure firewalls and network security groups in your cloud security architecture to implement a defense in-depth strategy.